You know, like I was reading a my favorite book, Fahrenheit 451, and I opened up one of the pages because I like to do that. I just like to open up a random page and just read a little bit because I like it a lot, and it just reminds me of what I value in life and like what I care about, and I couldn't really find something like for the past like few times, like two or three times that I've looked in the book. I haven't found like I haven't found something that I'm looking for. It used to be when I opened up one of the pages. When I opened up one of the pages, I would find something that like really meant something to me. But now I'll just open up a random page, and I'll get that. Nope, that's actually a good one. Like, and I'll, and I'll get like, man, I'm finding good ones. But maybe when I turn to it, I just get like it's all good. It's an amazing book, but like I'm looking for something in particular, and when I look for something, I get something like this kind of. I get something that I'm not really looking for, even though it's good. Um, but there's particular like specific kinds like where it is good, but just not. I don't. It doesn't really strike me as very good. Anyway, like getting something like this, for example, it's a good paragraph, but there's not really a lot of like meaning. Like there is meaning. Okay, I'm sorry. Um, and like, so I flipped to the beginning of the book, because that's basically what I'm looking for, is like what's at the beginning of the book. It's when this girl, Clarisse, is talking with the protagonist, with the fireman, um, Montag. I forgot his name for a second. And like, she'll ask stuff like, look at this. Like, hold on. Let me find it. Like, how did it start? How did you get into it? And hold on. If I can find it. What do you talk about? Good night. Are you happy? And if you look, there's a man in the moon. And if I could find it. Rain even tastes good. What are you up to now? What do you do? What do you do? Go around trying everything once? And if I could find it. She says, do you mind if I ask? How long have you worked at being a fireman? And just, like, questions, and just, there's, like, this curiosity, and this innocence, and this, like, this purity, and this, like, wholesomeness, and, like, kindness in, like, the way that she, like, speaks, and, like, the things that she asks. Not about how she speaks, that's part of it, but it's about what she's asking that's important. And I'm just kind of, I'm just thinking about that, and I'm like, man, I have so many conversations lately, but lots of them are just kind of, I just don't really enjoy them as much anymore. Like, with some friends, I'll talk with them because I know it makes them happy when I do that. But I don't enjoy it a lot. Like, I don't not enjoy it, but it's just kind of it's kind of like watching a TV show that you're not, like, the most interested in. It's like, it's TV, so it's enjoyable, but it's not like your favorite show, and it's not like, not even your favorite, but it's not even like a really good show. It's just kind of like a show, and it's not exactly good to you. It's not bad either. You're just kind of watching it to watch it. That's what some of my conversations feel like lately, and I really miss the really deep conversations that are like that girl. I say deep, but when I say deep, I don't mean, intellectual and talking about, did you notice, have you heard about Trump's and whatever, or like, no, I guess that would be superficial, but like, have you heard about, like, the polemic atrocity of the, like, whatever, like, intellectual complex, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, in that book, it's very simple, she asks, do you mind if I ask, how long have you been a fireman? And, have you tasted, like, do you know there's a man on the moon, and do you know how rain tastes? And it sounds kind of silly saying it, but there's something very special about it. In the way that the author, Bradbury, like, phrases it, and the way that he does it, it feels very organic. It feels very alive, the conversation they're having. It doesn't feel like some, like, it doesn't really feel like a book. It feels like an actual conversation. It doesn't feel like something fabricated in a book. It feels like something very authentic. And, like, it's like one of the best conversations you could really have, it feels. um, just that curious inquiry into each other's lives. And it's very special, and I just kind of missed that. I kind of had that when my best friend Isbah, when we first started, like, really talking, there was this one night in December where we just got to talking, and, you know, up to that point, whenever we talked on Discord, it was just kind of, it was just, you know, small talk, whatever. But that night, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. But there was, like, we just had this really deep conversation, this really long conversation for, like, it was like 6 hours or something, where we talked about the night, like, we talked about nighttime, and we talked about music, and we talked about, like, memories from the past, and we talked about how it feels to be outside at night in winter, and Isbah said something, it was like, this message here is to remind, like, all caps, this message here is to remind you that standing outside at night feels really nice, and then she pinned the message. And we talked about how she was in Walmart and has, like, these donuts, these glazed donuts, and you know, when you list topics of a conversation like that, it seems kind of pointless, or not pointless, but it just seems kind of like, it seems kind of like television. It's like, if you talk about a television episode to somebody, you may be like, oh, this man, he went to the store, and he met this guy, and it's kind of like the spark notes of, like, a book, you know, like the summary of a book. Like a plain seeming book. Like, there's this quote from the French book Le Petit Prince, The Little Prince. L'essentiel est invisible aux yeux. On ne peut que voir avec le cœur. Which means, the essential is invisible to the eyes. One can only see rightly with the heart. One can only see with the heart. And it's like, if you think about a book, like, the events in it, it might not seem as interesting, unless you're talking about some, like, action movie, you know? It might not seem so interesting. But the thing that makes a book special and meaningful and unique and worth reading isn't its plot. That can be part of it. It makes it exciting, and it's like a backbone. But it's like the meaning and the ideas that are explored within that. The author of that book, of my favorite book, Ray Bradbury, said once that digression is the soul of wit. Take out the philosophic asides from Hamlet's father's ghost, or something from Milton, and what you're left with is dry bones. You know, like meat, I don't know. So it's like, when you talk about a conversation like that, and you think of, like, the topics, if you just list the topics, like, if someone says, what was your conversation with Isbah like, or what was it about that night, or what was it like that night? And I said, nighttime, winter, music, memories, donuts. To me, it seems special, that list seems special, because in my heart, there's that meaning of, like, when I think of those things, I think of that conversation, and I think of the way that it made me feel. The way that the experience, more than an emotional feeling, a mental feeling. Not more than, but as well as. So, like, so it doesn't sound that special to most people, though, to list that thing. Because that's not what the conversation was about. The conversation was about, a new connection and an exchange of ideas, like talking with a friend over a campfire, talking with a stranger over a campfire, because that's kind of what we were at that point. We were half strangers, acquaintances. So, but the thing is, I had that really nice conversation, right? And then, like, we continued to have all of those conversations like that, where we just talked for hours on end, like, all night long, and it was really great. And then at some point, it just kind of stopped. Whenever we would call, but it would be really it wouldn't be really awkward, but it would just kind of be like companionable silence. It was just silence. We just didn't know what to say. And I would say, like, oh, what did you think of, you know, like, whatever, like, little small stuff. And it was nice to just like, you know, being around, like, kind of like being virtually around her, but it wasn't wasn't the same as like those really engaging and really interesting and really engrossing and really awesome, fun, nice, pleasant conversations that we had at night. And it's kind of similar to they're not entirely similar, but they're similar kind of at their core. Those kinds of conversations and the conversation in that book in Fahrenheit 451, between Clarisse and Montag. It's very innocent, and it's very well-meaning, and there's no, like, ulterior motive, and it's not someone asking for advice, and it's not someone, like, it's kind of like painting a picture without having, like, any guidelines for it. You're just kind of going. That's part of it. And so I want to have more conversations like that, and I was thinking I was going to take a break from talking to Isbah because I, like, have a crush on her, and I don't want to have a crush on her because she has a boyfriend, and she's not going to like me back, and it's just wrong, and it's causing me pain, and it's causing her pain, and it's causing her boyfriend annoyance, and it's just wrong. And I can't think of any way to stop liking someone other than just not talking with them for a while. I mean, that's what helped last time, I think, or maybe not what helped, but there was a correlation. Like, I stopped talking with her, and then I kind of gradually stopped liking her. But it was only for, like, a week, I think. I don't know. If you have any thoughts about that, how do you stop liking someone? That would be greatly appreciated. But if I just stop talking with her, with my other friends, I kind of just have these kind of superficial conversations. I mean, not always, but I guess they're less superficial than, like, a lot of people's, but, like, I guess less superficial than most conversations, I don't know. But, like, it's just something different with Isbah. It's just something, I don't talk with anyone like the way that I talk with her, you know? So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna keep talking with her. My friend said, once I'm in college, I might not get to spend as much time with her, so I should do so. I should make the most of it while I have it now. But I'm worried about, like, my crush growing bigger. I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Bye.